Nice little tune to sort of set us going. I'll get this bit out the way.
Not bad.
Don't forget, guys, drop a like on the stream, subscribe to the YouTube channel, hit that bell icon to be notified of any new content on the channel. Welcome to our pre-match for the Rapid Vienna game. Duke, how are you?
I'm very well, sir. I am. Obviously, we are recording this the night before it goes out, and due to, as I mentioned to you earlier, about me trying to do another stream at some point regarding some interesting players that I have found myself coming across. That sounded wrong. Some players that I found myself interested in over the last couple of days.
Didn't sound much better, actually.
You know what? We'll edit this out. Don't worry about it. No, I mean it's all about time. So you've actually caught me entering all the figures for my tills and the cashing up of this evening. Obviously, we're doing this at just after 11 o'clock.
Dedication.
Tuesday night. So I am, committed to the cause, shall we say? But I'm obviously trying to do this here and concentrate on you wonderful people out there in video land. And I will do my best to hurry up and get this finished as we go. So please carry on.
Okay, so obviously we're here to discuss the match that's going to be taking place on Thursday evening against Rapid Vienna, which obviously takes place at London Stadium. A lot of people think that this should be the easiest game on paper, which obviously follows what a lot of people thought would be the most difficult game on paper of the Europa League campaign, which we managed to sort of dispatch quite effectively. Dinamo Zagreb in the last game in Croatia. So this should be fairly straightforward, shouldn't it, Duke? Nothing could possibly go wrong, could it?
Listen, right. I'm not going to take this too lightly. For the simple fact is that they've qualified on merit. They're there because they were like us up there alongside. They were the also-rans of their top flight, if you will. The best of a second bunch, for want of another word, which alongside a couple of others in our league, we were top four. And then, I can't even finish. Who finished fifth, Rob? Was it Leicester?
Leicester, yeah.
Leicester and us, the best of the also-rans, if you will. So,
well, you say that, but they finished second in their league.
Best of the also-rans.
Yeah, fair enough.
If that's how their league works, they weren't the top four or the top team to qualify for their Champions League spot.
Yeah,
which I still state is a tournament that should be a competition that should just be for the champions of the countries, if you will. I do believe that I feel that there should be teams from the Andorran top flight because they're the champions of their division. Now they might get spanked by a Barcelona side or pretty much any side. Let's not mess around, but they still they've won their league, so surely, if they're recognised in that, they should be in the Champions League for being the champions of their country. But I digress. That's obviously
it's because of money.
Oh, of course it is. Listen, I'm not going to pretend otherwise. I mean, but when you say about it should be the easier game on paper and everything else, as I mentioned when we did the draw and we've spoken on other streams about this. I'll be very disappointed if we don't pick up, 6 wins out of 6. I mean,
yeah.
I look at the quality, and if Zagreb were the better, what we consider to be the hardest game, away, then if that's the hardest, and we came through that relatively unscathed, very few shots were had against us. Is it, I'm going to have difficulty in believing that these games are going to be simple. But again, on the flip side to that, I look at all the teams in our group and I just feel we have the superior talent. So, I'll be honest, I kind of, we're sitting here recording this, and I keep looking at the comment section, and then I'm realizing we're recording this, and I want to try and get some interaction going, and I, we said this tonight before you left the club
Yeah.
after the quiz. It's very difficult to not have the interaction. I think that's why we do well when we do the live shows, because we get that interaction from people. So it's a little bit sad in a way that we can't have that, but tomorrow when this does go out, we will do our best to interact with those in the chat and see what we can pull out the bag.
Indeed. I'll get what I've cobbled together, and you can obviously pick the bones out.
In very quick time.
Here we go. So this is, I'll go full screen with it, and I'll just get rid of that banner there. This is what I've cobbled together. This is what I suspect maybe something along the lines of what we see against Rapid Vienna on Thursday evening. It's Areola in goal. Back four from left to right: Ben Johnson, Issa Diop, Kurt Zouma, and if he's fit, and I've heard there's a whisper he's possibly going to be, Ryan Fredericks. In front of them, Declan Rice, the captain, and Alex Crowell, I would like to see coming in for Thomas Sojek. I don't know about you, but I think he's looked a little bit leggy of late, and that back pass against Leeds, I think, was possibly testament to that. But there you go. Arthur Masuaku on the left of a midfield offensive three, Vlasic on the right, Lanzini in the 10 position. And I'm sort of umming and ahhing. Do I sort of like put Bowen up top? Do I put Antonio up top? Probably not. No disrespect, but I think, mate, he needs to be protected as much as possible. Do I put Yarmolenko up top? But I've eventually sort of said, no, I'd like to see Bowen, because I think he's been absolutely brilliant. The only thing that's been missing so far this season has been a goal. And I think that if he can get a goal against Rapid Vienna, I think his confidence will be sky high. But that's my thoughts on an 11. What are yours?
I'm afraid to say, Mr. Gates, sir, I'm finding myself disagreeing with you a tad.
That's fine.
I'm looking at your another dicking around of a formation and putting players where I honestly think you just put the players' names in a hat and go, right, left midfield attacking. Ryan Fredericks, that was last time. Now we're at bloody Masuaku. I reckon for the Genk game, you may well end up with Vladimir Soufal playing at left wing. I don't know why. I just have this feeling.
I never thought of that.
No, if I'm honest, right, and I saw a lot on social media this morning, and this afternoon during my lunch break, I had a little look through, and I've got to say, I'm inclined to agree with what seems to be the general consensus, and that is start Mikel Antonio, and if we're doing the job by half time or 60 minutes, then he comes off, and you keep him then for what follows.
Okay.
Now, I'm inclined to agree with that. I'll tell you why I'm inclined to agree with that, and that's more because I feel that with Antonio up front, we look stronger. We look scary, for want of a better word. We look more dominant, for want of a better word. We look very lightweight without him up top, and I completely agree with what he's saying about Bowen. The one thing missing from this kid's game at the minute is a goal. He's been absolutely outstanding so far this season, and the game against United, I think he ran himself into the ground. I was very surprised personally to see him start against Leeds, just because of how much running he did against United. So, I mean, I'd probably give him the night off over Antonio. Okay. Maybe he's the one that comes off the bench at half time if we're 2-0 up to replace Antonio. maybe he's the one that comes on after 60 minutes once we go 2-0 up to replace Antonio. But again, the Europa League seems to be, you know what, if we win our group games, we're in the quarter final. That's 3 games away. It's 3 wins away from lifting the trophy for one of 3 rounds. I don't know if they're doing home and away legs for the certain games, but that's 3 rounds away from potentially lifting the trophy. With the Man City draw, that kind of puts us on the back foot with a League Cup. I know we all thought that with United, but let's be fair, we knew that they were going to put out a slightly weakened side. So, I'm kind of looking at it thinking that, City probably won't. I mean, they tend to enjoy this cup, don't they, if we look at it. They've won it. So, potentially, unless we get a really favourable run in the FA Cup, then this Europa League seems to be what potentially could be our first cup in 41 years, 42 years by the time we get round to playing the final. So I would love to see Moyes go, you know what, I value Duke's opinion. I think he's right, and I'm going to stick out. We're going to stick out a full strength side. We're going to go out there. We're going to make sure that we score the goals that will propel us to the top of the league. Should it come down to goal difference at the end of the season? So that's what I'd like to see. I'd like to see that full strength side go out there. If we look like we're doing the job by half time, you haul off your key players. You take off your Antonios, you take off your Ogbonna or your Zuma. You whip out Declan Rice out of there just because we want to keep these guys fit. I believe, is it Brentford on Sunday, Rob?
It is, yes.
You see, no disrespect to Brentford. Again, I think they're going to be, although they're going to have some time of recovering, but they're going to be buoyed. But I just think they're going to have expelled a lot of energy against Liverpool. At the weekend. Again, they will be buoyed by such a fantastic result. So it's not going to be a walkover. So we will need those key players fit. I think you're right with Alex Král, though, stepping in for Souček. Like you say, he has looked leggy. He has looked tired. Again, he only had a couple of weeks break between, the end of the Euros and coming back to us and starting. So, and Alex Král did an admirable job against United. So, I mean, he's no bum replacement, if you will. So, no, I respectfully disagree with your choice. That's there. But I would love to see him stick out a full strength side. Maybe, like I say, maybe take Bowen out of the equation and bring in Vlasic. I'd like to see Benny in there because I think Benny's had an absolutely, exceptional start to the season. And I'd like to see him continue that form and that run. So yeah, let's see where it takes us, mate. Really.
Okay. I mean, the only thing I happen to think, this is, I just sort of come back to the thing that this should be the easiest game. So, this should be an opportunity to rest people like Antonio and, Ogbonna. Obviously he's someone that's in the twilight of his career and players like that. I just sort of looked at it and thought, do you know what? This team here, Diop, I mean, I thought he was magnificent against Manchester United. Král, I thought he played really well. I just look at this and think, do you know what? Although this is, our reserve team, if you will, for want of a better phrase, this should be enough to take care of Rapid Vienna, shouldn't it?
All day long. Listen, I'm not knocking the players that we've got there. You know, I look at them and you say about what is essentially our second string. There's some cracking players in there, mate. You know, even the guys stepping in. You know, Ariola. Personally, I'd like to see him first choice, but I'm not going to keep beating that drum. You know, Fredericks was absolutely superb for the first 9 minutes of the game going forward against United. You know, until he picked up the injury. Alex Crowell, I thought, was superb against United. Zuma seems to have, you know, hit a point with Diop that looks good. You know, Declan Rice and Alex Crowell look good. Masuaku, you know, I'd rather see him further forward. I don't want to see him defending at any point in his life anymore. But he is a very tricky and talented player going forward. You know, so maybe you might be right that going forward will be the key with him. Lanzini, listen, I love our little diamond. He's a cracking player. You know, Vlasic has come in and there's a lot of money spent on that fella, and with a lot of money spent comes a lot of expectation. And for the limited time we've seen him, I've not quite seen it yet. That comes with that 30 close to £38 million price tag. I've not yet seen what it is that others have seen.
Agreed.
You know, that have gone out and bought him. That being said, I'm not saying we won't. So, listen, whatever team he puts out, sadly I won't be there as I'm working. Are you there, Rob? Are you going? Did you get tickets?
I'll be there. I'll be there. Yeah, I'll be there.
I will say it. I will say it quite loudly for those that are not going. Really fucking hate you for that. Very envious. But again, you know, that being said, get behind the boys, regardless of who he picks and whoever he puts out there. Whether or not you agree with the fact that if he picks Masuaku and puts him out there. You know, I know that there are Masuaku, what I'd consider to be haters out there. You know, much the same as there were Benrahma haters last year.
Was it hate though?
No, it wasn't hate. It was perfectly valid criticism. Some of the comments that are aimed at Masuaku, I feel are not valid criticisms. I feel they are quite hateful comments that are made, and it's not aimed at. It's not racist comments. It's not. I just think they are belittling comments for a guy, you know, who's considered a top flight footballer, and he is. You know, whether or not people see him as a top flight footballer for us, you know, he could go to, you know, the French League and make a very good career. You know, therefore top flight footballer. So, you know, some very good players. Again, that team there is very capable of picking up, you know, a few goals and some points. But I just feel, you know, if you want to make a statement, stick out your stronger one. But, you know, like I say, whatever he picks, I'm going to get behind the team on Thursday night. I've already told the missus that she might have to come down for about an hour and 45 minutes, including half time. So I can, you know, sneak around the other side of the bar in me claret and blue, or me black and gold, or even me forged from iron shirt, and watch the boys while she serves. She, you know, she'll probably tell me to fuck off, but it's worth a
very
try.
probably, very probably.
Yeah,
but you know, you don't ask, you don't get. That's my motto.
That is very true. Distinct possibility that I will be told to go fucking do one.
Yeah. How much do you know about Rapid Vienna?
Honestly, Jack Diddley Scott.
Probably about the same as me then. I mean, I've got a limited knowledge of them. I mean, I remember they played in a Cup Winners' Cup final against Everton in the mid-'80s.
Right.
That's about it. So I've done what most people do, and you look on the internet and you gen up. Did you know that they actually won a German championship in 1941, as well as being Austria's most successful league team with 32 titles? They also have a German title as well.
Would that be in all fairness, anything to do with essentially what happened during the war.
Yes, as Uncle Albert
Right,
said, during the war, it was in 1941 when Austria was annexed by Nazi Germany. They actually won a German title, yeah.
Fall into the fold, yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's, to be fair, could have done with that tonight, Rob, while you were in the pub doing the quiz. That would have been quite a cracking little bit of trivia, to be fair.
They also won a German Cup as well. They got a German Cup to their name as well. Quite incredible. But
I mean, listen,
yeah,
so like I say, they finished second in their league, didn't they? So they're there on merit. They're playing us on merit, you know. And as much as we sat there during the live stream that we did when the draw was announced, you know, we were over the moon. But let's be fair, they're there on merit. They're deserving to be there. So, you know, let's see where this takes us. Let's not mug these off too soon, because it could come back and bite us in the rear end. As we've had the unfortunate the unfortunateness of being West Ham fans for many years. I remember Torquay away. I remember Little Emily Town giving us a run for our money in the FA Cup.
I was there.
You know, there's been several of them upsets, you know. So, you know, I know that's West Ham of old, and I know what people are going to say tomorrow. You know, that we're moving forward, not looking back. But these are the banana skins, Rob. These are the banana skins that we've made our history on, and you know, fingers crossed tomorrow isn't one of them.
Yeah, agreed. Just going to bring it up on screen. I'll go full screen with this.
I've got to get closer.
This is the previous Bundesliga match that was played by Rapid Vienna, which they actually lost. They lost 3-0. This was at home to Sturm Graz, who I believe one of their supporters, useless little bit of trivia, but I'm fairly sure this is the team that is supported by Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Sturm Graz?
Sturm Graz, yeah. I'm fairly sure
it is, yes.
Yeah.
No, it is, yeah.
Yeah. So this is obviously the previous Bundesliga match where they went 4-2-3-1. And yeah, I'll be honest, I'm not an expert in Austrian football, and a lot of these names, Ullmann, I've got a funny feeling I've heard of him before, but the rest of them I'm looking at, and I've got to be honest with you, mate, not really too sure an awful lot of them. Forgive me, but my knowledge of Austrian league football is virtually non-existent.
I know a couple of players out there, but none from this team.
Yeah, this is the previous Europa League match. Yeah, Ullmann, that's the one I'm sort of looking at and thinking, oh, I've heard of him, but the rest of them I'm like, no, not really. This was the previous Europa League match. Now, that was a 1-0 defeat against Genk, again, a home fixture. So their last two matches we're showing the lineups from are both home fixtures, which they lost both of them. You know, again, Stojkovic is the right back, Ullmann's the left back, Gartler is the goalkeeper, Funtas, if that's how it's pronounced, is the sort of like one of the strikers in this formation, because in this formation he switched from a 4-2-3-1 to a 4-4-2. Some of the names are the same. Some of them are sort of like different, but again, I'm no expert. So which team essentially we're going to come across, I suspect it will probably be something very similar to this, being this was the previous Europa League match, but it could be anything, mate. I don't know about you.
I mean, listen, I'm kind of hoping they go 4-4-2. And the reason behind this is that our midfield three, along with you know, the defensive duo, depending on who he picks. You know, Krau, Nobes, Lanzini for one. You know, maybe Rice or Suchik, depending on how he goes. I think the five will be enough to out battle the two central players, even if they do again, like I've mentioned before, Italy, when their two midfielders got overrun in the Euro final. They brought the two wide players in to create a kind of midfield four and choke the life out of England in the middle of the park. I think our five has enough there to be able to do a job, regardless of who he picks. So I think 4-4-2. Pardon me, 4-4-2. I'm hoping they play 4-2-3-1. Very much just matches how we set up, and I just hope that that could stifle the game slightly. So we'll have to see. Moyes might even spring a surprise on us, and if he doesn't play a full strength side, we might see that we go five at the back, but more three at the back with a five midfield and two up top. We might see that he goes with that and pretty much goes for the kill early. But we don't know, do we? I mean, we kind of just got to, like I say, we get behind Moyes, we get behind the boys once that game kicks off. We make a hell of a lot of noise, turn the London Stadium into a cauldron, and really intimidate the players on the pitch. Because I can promise you now, they're not going to play to somewhere like the London Stadium with the likes of the West Ham fans. Without blowing our trumpet, I'd liken the atmosphere that we can create, and especially back at Upton Park, was very much reminiscent of the Turkish sides, that kind of
like Galatasaray and
not
whatnot.
aggressively hostile, but a passionate, hostile environment that you're in a game because the home fans are behind that team. And if we can recreate that tomorrow night and guarantee that it will be tomorrow night
when this goes out, will be
we can create a hostile environment that those Vienna fans, unless the Vienna players, unless they played in Turkey, wouldn't have witnessed something like it.
Yeah. They've got one player in their ranks. Do you remember a player called Kevin Wimmer? Does that name ring a bell to you?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah, he's a Austria Vienna player, Rapid Vienna, sorry.
Really?
Yeah, he used to be on the books at Tottenham, then moved to Stoke. He's now at Rapid Vienna. So he's in their squad. I mean, you note that he wasn't in either of those two 11s that I put up on the screen of the previous Bundesliga game and the previous Europa League game. So I rather suspect he's something of a fringe player, and we may or may not see him come from the bench. I don't know. Centre back by trade, Austrian international. And I think he got, I'm just looking here, 15 league appearances for the Spuds. So I don't think we really got anything to fear from him. Do you?
Again, I'm just scrolling through this side, and most expensive player in this squad looks to be the centre forward, Kitagawa, the Japanese fella.
Yeah.
1.3 million quid.
How much?
1.3 million, according to.
And he's the most expensive.
Yes, mate. Yeah.
Wow.
Well, actually, he was signed for 1.3 million. On transfer marks, he's only actually valued at just over $500,000.
It's a different world, isn't it?
They paid 1.35 million for him, but transfer marks actually have him booked in at 540k. Maximilian Ullmann, the guy we were just talking. Oh no, Maximilian Ullmann has a transfer mark of 2.25. So he actually, we're moving up. Although they actually only signed him from LASK for 540. So
it's incredible, isn't it?
They're just the numbers that are here before.
540 probably gets you a sort of like a League Two player these days. Maybe not even that.
Petrovic, the midfielder that I saw come up, he's 1.8 million. These guys are they're not big. I don't want to be disrespectful, but they're not the players that they wouldn't be playing in the Premier League or even the Championship.
No.
I don't feel if they were to make the move. I look at the Bundesliga, I look at the Austrian Bundesliga, should I say, and there really isn't a great deal that goes on over there, mate. To be fair,
No.
I mean, my boy, as we know, he plays out there, Karim Adeyemi, and I mean he's worth 18 million on transfer mark now, mate. Pretty sure at the start of the season I said something. He was below double figures. He's currently sitting on, trying to find his stats, mate, to be honest with you. 9 games, 7 goals, 1 assist.
Crazy.
He's involved in a goal every 94
19?
Yes. 19 years old, yeah. Nigeria, he's born Germany and Nigerian nationalities. Mate, I'm telling you now, if he's not snapped up soon by someone in the Premier League, he will be playing for one of the big boys in German football next season.
You think he's going maybe at Dortmund or Leipzig or something?
Oh well, no, mate, he'll probably go Leipzig for a season, very much like Erling Haaland did. He's being very much likened to Erling Haaland at the moment. They're actually playing tomorrow night, so I might. Again, they kick off when we go out tomorrow night, or tonight, depending on how you want to put it.
Time travel.
They're playing Lille in Champions League Group G, so I might have a little watch on that.
Yeah.
And I suggest anyone, if you're watching, flick over and just have a look and tell me what you think. He's off the ball. He's something else, and like I say, I know I'm digressing here slightly, but I want to see this kid. I want to see this kid play for West Ham sooner rather than later.
You're allowed to digress, Duke. It's your channel.
We're talking about West Ham Vienna. Here I am talking about Salzburg Lille. But no, if you'd like to say, if you get the chance, guys, flick over, watch it. I'm certainly going to. He's got an assist to his name in the first game of the Champions League so far. So, but I will be doing, as I mentioned earlier, going to be doing a couple of little videos coming up about some players that I feel we should sign. I need a job at West Ham. If anyone knows if they can get me a job at West Ham, I could be Newman's right hand man. I feel.
Well, they're beefing up the scouting and the recruitment side of the club, aren't they? So you never know.
They lost out on a cracking youth scout quite recently. I know for a fact he's just joined Manchester City as one of their scouts down south for youth players, and we lost out big time on this lad because we are a cheapskate fuckwit club, or was a cheapskate fuckwit club when it comes to things like scouting networks, etc. So,
I think David Moyes is getting a bit more traction on turning that particular situation around.
Yeah, but we've lost out on him now.
Yeah, I know, but it's better late than never, I suppose. It's the only thing you can say. We are where we are. We're not where we want to be, but we're making progress. Fingers crossed. Do you want my nuggets?
Casey, I thought you'd never ask.
Right, here we go. This will be the very first match between these two sides in European competition, with West Ham facing Austrian opposition for the first time. There you go.
I like that one.
Rapid, it says there Wein, but it's the German pronunciation, but we call them Rapid Vienna from this point onwards. Rapid Vienna have lost 4 of their 5 away games against English sides in European competition, winning the other game 3-2 against Kevin MacDonald's Aston Villa side, despite trailing with 12 minutes to go.
I mean, how many times have we been on the receiving end of shit like that? Not in Europe,
fairly
but,
often.
You know what I mean?
We know how it feels. We have won 12 of our last 17 home matches in major European competitions, drawing 2 and losing 3, although we have failed to score in either of our last 2 such matches. And I was there at both of them, sadly. 0-0 against... It says there FCSB, in case you're wondering, that's Steaua Bucharest in November 1999, and 0-1 versus Palermo in September 2006. Not good.
Yeah, but again, we mentioned earlier, Gail, and you mentioned before. Yeah, and you mentioned before, we've got to stop looking backwards. We're making a whole new set of history going on right now with this West Ham side. You know, Antonio doing what he's done and becoming, the goal scorer that he's become, and the top Premier League goal scorer. First, there's a bit of history there. Playing in this tournament, in the group stages, there's history there. And we're playing well. It's not. It's we fought to the end against Leeds at the weekend. Brilliant football. I mean, I didn't get to do the review show with you. I just want to touch. I don't know if you guys spoke, and you probably did because I haven't got to see it yet. But the Carrick-esque ball from Declan Rice.
I did reference it, and I did give you credit for mentioning it.
It was amazing. It was an absolutely fantastic ball through. His first touch to get it round, the defender, and then to compose himself. Let's be honest, 90th minute, and he's kind of, one-on-one with a goalkeeper. We've seen better players than Antonio miss those.
Yeah.
So we're making new history, and I'm loving the fact that I'm alive to be a part of it. It's been a long time coming. I'm 43 in a couple of months. And it's been a long time coming. I was only 18 months old when we won the FA Cup. So, I'm enjoying it. I am enjoying it. 86 feels like a long way away now.
Yeah.
The boys of 86, that feels like, well, it is a hell of a long way away, but it's certainly a lot closer than 1980. Touched there the Palermo game and games in Europe where we went and played Astra Gugu and those sides, and it didn't work out. I'm enjoying this, and you know what? A lot of opposition fans that I'm speaking to that come in the pub are saying the same thing, that they're pleased for the West Ham fans that things are going right for us, because they say, we've long have we suffered, and it's nice to see that if they reckon that there's not any more deserving fans out there than the West Ham fans to have a little bit of success, which is nice to hear. I didn't do that.
I bet they don't say that when we're playing their team, though.
No, probably not. And you know what? I wouldn't say it. I would love to see, and I mean this. I would love to see the Newcastle fans have something to shout about, because they are. They're committed. They're a committed fan base. Much the same. And I know everyone's going to moan that it's Qatari money. It's the oil money, the sheikh money, whatever you want to call it. But those Man City fans stuck through that club. Some of the highest gates outside of the top flight for a number of years when they were.
Oh, we've lost your sound, Duke.
Although it feels like it's been a little bit bold. I'm glad the fans have got the success, and I'm hoping now's our time as well. So we've stuck by the club through thick and thin. So maybe now's the time for us to get some success.
Yeah. Got 2 more nuggets to share with you.
Oh,
This is the next one.
No, hang on. Keep going.
What's up? Okay, Rapid Vienna have lost 18 of their 26 away games in the UEFA Europa League to date, winning 5 and drawing 3. With their last away game in this competition also coming against English opponents. A 1-4 defeat against Arsenal in the group stages last season. That's a positive omen, I would hope.
I missed all of that because my headset disconnected because Joe tried to phone me and I'm recording it on my phone. What?
I could edit this bit out. Rapid
No,
Vienna have
keep
lost
it in,
18 of... Yeah, why not? Rapid Vienna have lost 18 of their 26 away games in the UEFA Europa League to date, winning 5 and drawing 3, with their last away game in this competition also coming against English opponents, a 1-4 defeat against Arsenal in the group stages last season.
Listen, can I be honest?
Please do.
They lost 4-1 to a dog shit side, who have been god-awful this season. And haven't been great for a significant amount of time, in my opinion. Arsenal, they're a side on or what felt like a way down. I think the game on Sunday would have given them a massive jolt and a massive boost. But they've got too many players there, aside from the youngsters coming through. They've got too many players there that are living life for a paycheck and I'm pretty much taking the piss out of a great set of fans and a historic club. And they're mercenaries, and one of them that we've been linked with again, I think in the press today or yesterday. Again, another one, not necessarily stealing a living, but I think he's taking the piss with what he earns compared to the performances he put in Lacazette. They've got some great kids coming through, but I think if this side lost 4-1 against them last season, I don't see how we, at our gaff, I don't think we should have much trouble really.
No, I agree. I think that's certainly a positive little factoid. One more. West Ham midfielder, you're going to like this.
Oh, this boy.
Declan Rice completed 53 of his 54 pass attempts on match day 1 against Dinamo Zagreb, 98%, including all 32 of the passes he made in the opposition half, 100%.
The only passes backwards or sideways is the bullshit that I hear constantly read. Yeah. The only passes backwards or sideways. To those people, I'd like to tell you to go fuck yourself.
That's reasonably polite for you.
Yeah, listen. I constantly see comments of opposition fans when Declan Rice is tagged in anything England-based on Twitter, social media. Oh, come to United. Oh, Declan, please come to Chelsea, please, as they're masturbating into their screens. Yet, when they're confronted by something that he's done for West Ham, i.e. the stat you've just put up there, or stuff that he does, like he did against Leeds with the assist for the goal. He only passes sideways and backwards. He's shit. We don't want him at Chelsea. We don't want him at United. Yet the second something else comes out with him in an England shirt, again, it's the masturbatory fantasies that they have. And I've said numerous times, Rob, and I'll say it once more, and it probably won't be the last time I say it this season. The guy would not look out of place in the greatest teams in the world at the moment. Bayern Munich, Borussia Dortmund, I'll probably get into Barcelona in a minute, and Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid, United, Liverpool, Chelsea, Man City. He wouldn't look out of place in any of these teams.
No, definitely not.
And I'm telling you now, if the fans of these other teams could get their head out of their asses long enough to stop being, anti-West Ham, shall I say, they'd see that he's up there, if not he is there, as the best young player that England have got. I think he's on par with potential to be a world star, as with Grealish. I think Grealish has got all the ability to become a world diving champion, gold medalist. Along with Sterling, I think he obviously has the same. Maybe him and Grealish could be the new. Is it Tom Daly?
I
Him and
don't want to
his.
see him in budgie smugglers.
Well, no, it's definitely not Raheem Sterling.
No.
Rumours are to be believed. But that being said, Declan Rice has the ability to be a world superstar, regardless of whether he stays at West Ham, regardless, whether he goes on to captain England, which I have no doubt he will go and do at some point in his career. Um, I have no doubt he will lead England into World Cup games and into European Championship games. If he stays at West Ham, I can see him leading West Ham out into Champions League games because we will build a side around him that is capable of competing. So Declan Rice for me is a key component of whatever we successfully negotiate this season, would be it the FA Cup, the League Cup, the league, or in Europe. Best player in his position in the world at the minute for his age.
Can't disagree with that. Cannot disagree with that. They say that bookies don't get things wrong very often, isn't it, Duke? Let's have a look.
It's very difficult to beat the house.
Let's have a look. So, Bet365, other betting sites are available. But we've said this before. If Bet365, if you want to sponsor Fools from Iron, please get in touch with us. You've got the Fools Talk Twitter page. You've got Mr. Robert Gates, mine. You've got Duke's Hammers Duke at Hammers Duke. Get in touch with one of us. I'm sure we can strike a deal. A couple of quid. Maybe even a couple of biros or something like that. Who knows? Whatever.
We might even supply you with a Fools from Iron baseball shirt.
You never know. You never know. To be honest, I'd probably be happy with a blankety blank checkbook and pen the way it's going. Anyway, a full-time result. We are 4-1 on favourites to take the tie tomorrow. Tomorrow? Well, it will be tomorrow when this goes out. It's
when this goes out,
time travel. Okay. The draw is 5-1, and the away win is 10-1 against. That's pretty compelling stuff, isn't it, Duke? We should be too strong for this.
Listen, I didn't even need the odds to come up to be able to tell you what this game should be ours. The quality of players that we have ahead of theirs is huge. So, as far as I'm concerned, we should be running out 3-4-0 winners comfortably.
Yeah. So you're going for a 3-4-0 win as a scoreline?
3 or 4-0. Yeah, I am indeed.
He's going big or go home. I'm going to agree with you. I'm going to go 3-0. I'm going to go 3-0.
Yeah.
I think it'll be convincing. I don't think that we're going to have too much of a problem. I think that we're just going to be too good for them. We're just going to have, and that's not me being disrespectful. It's not me being arrogant.
Need not be complacent, Rob.
No, but I don't think that David Moyes will allow the players to get complacent. I really don't.
Agreed.
I think that David Moyes will make them very aware that if they don't keep their standards to the level where they've been this season, then there's a very, very good possibility that we might get a bloody nose. But I don't see that's going to happen. I see that we're going to maintain the standards that have been set this season. I see that we're just going to have too much of them. Like I say, I'm not. Anybody that's watching that happens to be a Rapid Vienna fan, thank you for watching. But I just believe that we're going to have too much for them on the night. Home advantage, the form that we're in against the form that they're in. I mean, if you look at their league table, and it's really weird the way their league works because there's only actually 12 teams in their league. And it's one of these funny situations where sort of like they get to a certain point in the sort of season and they split the top 6 away from the bottom 6, and then the top 6 compete for the championship and the bottom 6 try and avoid relegation. It's a really weird sort of setup, and they sort of like they have points rounded off. And mate, don't. I've looked and I just went, what? But they're 11th out of the 12 teams at the minute. I mean, they're in absolute dire form. I mean, and you look at the form that we're in, not just in terms of the results that we're getting, but the way we're playing. We should just have too much.
Without a doubt.
You know, I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I'm really not. I'm always fairly respectful of any team we play because every dog has its day. And we've been on the receiving end of that particular mantra many, many times. So I'm not going to be complacent, but I just think we play this match 10 times. We probably win it 8 times, don't we?
Oh, without a doubt. Something's just been brought to my attention, Rob. You remember the gentleman I mentioned to you in pub the other night? I think it was Saturday. I don't know. About Florian Wirtz. The young lad that plays for Leverkusen.
Yes.
18 years old. Can you remember how much he was on Transfermarkt at that point?
I can't, to be honest with you, off the top of my head, no.
Currently sitting at 40.5 million.
Oh.
He's 18 years old, Rob.
Wow.
He was one that I was getting all excited about, wasn't it? His stats at the moment currently sit at 6 games, 5 goals, 4 assists. He's been involved directly with 9 goals in 6 games.
I have a funny feeling he may be one of your subjects that you're gonna.
Without a doubt, I'll tell you what I've got. I've got about 12 that I'm probably going to end up doing. There'll probably only be 5-minute videos. I'm going to try and speak to a certain gentleman on Twitter and see if I can encourage him to maybe join me in doing a little bit of research, or even maybe join us on the channel and see if we can get him talking to be part of this. I don't know how much he does of like the video stuff or face-to-face conversations. I know he does a lot of work scouting and stuff. So I'll have to see if I can get in contact with him. He's proving quite elusive at the moment, but I will mention him in the videos and mention his website and stuff if I do get the videos going. So fingers crossed. But yeah, 40.5 million pounds for an 18-year-old. I was talking to you about buying players for sell-on fees. If he's 40 million quid now at 18, can you say Erling Haaland?
Yes.
Erling Haaland has been directly involved with every single goal that Borussia Dortmund have scored so far this season.
He's going to go for
in the Bundesliga. He's something else.
He'll probably go to Bayern Munich. You sort of can see it coming, can't you? But
you say that. You can't see him going anywhere else, can you? You look at these other sides. I mean, you can't see him coming over here because I think that the kind of money that would be involved would rule out anyone other.
I think it's only 2 teams he could possibly go to.
I don't even think it's Chelsea. 2. I don't even think it's Chelsea, mate. I think the kind of figures that you're looking at really only have the Qatari money written all over it, if I'm honest with you. The Dubai kind of multi-millionaires. Barcelona are in trouble, monetary-wise. Real Madrid are in trouble monetary-wise.
The Spanish government will bail them out. They always do.
Well, I don't think they're going to. I don't think FIFA are about to allow them, mate. I think there's a lot going on behind the scenes with FIFA and others that are looking to
really large brown envelopes will solve that, Duke. You know how it works.
Well, the large brown envelopes have already been used, mate, because from what I understand, UEFA are dropping their proceedings against Barca, Real, and Juventus for their involvement in the Super League. They're actually dropping any intentions of court cases and anything else. So
it just shows that
just shows that as you say, brown envelopes filled with money talk, mate.
Yeah, well, don't get me started on UEFA. They're just a bunch of pussies. Simple as that. But anyway. Yeah. Anyway, right. Before we wrap it up, guys, this little girl needs our help. This is in the comment section below YouTube and Facebook. The campaign for Isla is still ongoing. You will notice that the Just Giving link has changed of late, but this is still a family fundamentally that needs our help. They're dealing with a 6-year-old girl that is battling neuroblastoma. They can't get the treatment in this country. Long-time viewers of this channel will know that this is something that we are full square behind, this campaign to help this family out. All we're asking you to do is to just take the time to copy and paste it and put it on your social media platforms with a little note just explaining what this campaign is all about. If you are in a position that you can personally contribute to this pot, there is a Just Giving link, as you can see there. Fill your boots. Give generously. No donation is too small. And this family really does need you. So yeah, thank you for listening. There was a gentleman a little bit earlier, and we're not going to name names, Duke, obviously, but on your quiz that managed to sort of pilfer £20 of your hard-earned, and I believe that this is going to be shortly be dropping into this particular fighting fund.
It will be indeed. I'm hoping either by close of play tomorrow or first thing on Thursday morning that will be placed into the account. Need to get it sorted through the back office system, but that £20 will be landing in the pot in the very foreseeable future.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you're watching this, as I say, and if you think that you can help, as this gentleman did, actually, it wasn't a gentleman; it was a family. But whatever. If you can help in the same way, whether it's £20, whether it's £1, whatever, there literally is no donation that is too small. Every contribution makes a difference, and I thank
massive difference, yeah,
very much indeed for listening. And before we wrap it up, Duke, we're just going to do our usual. Please like the stream, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Duke, what have they got to do with that bell, my friend?
Just give it a little tickle. Just a little
a tickle, a caress, a gentle
just caress the bell,
a gentle brush.
I tell you what, we're getting worse, aren't we?
Yeah, we're probably going to have to end this soon, because we might get sort of like YouTube coming down on us and telling us that we're doing something wrong. Usually the way. There you go, Duke. How do you want to finish off, my friend?
I'd just like to say to everyone watching, these last, what are we talking, 7 months, 6 months, 6.5 months, 7 months have been an absolute blast. We are committed to continuing to deliver some quality content to you wonderful people out there in YouTube land and social media world. Keep an eye out, like I say, as Casey mentioned now, touch the bell icon to be notified, because we're going to have some great content coming up. That being said, we are fucking massive.
I think we are. I do. I really do. Come on, you Irons.
Why is it, Rob? Good man.